when you're fun, cause you're desperate. Oh.
What's going on, guys? It's Joe Young coming out to another video today. So today I'm gonna give you guys a brief update on the reef. I just have a few things I need to do on this tank, so you guys will see that in a little bit. And then also I have a couple updates on the Discus tank, the Discus pair. And then also I'm gonna show you guys some new fish that I got. So you watched last week's update. I mentioned that I wanted to put some corals out there. So the coral that I decided to throw out there or give it an attempt is the GSP. The lighting will be okay, but the temperature out there is going to swing a lot. So I think that this coral can definitely handle that swing, especially during the summers, and then the winters are going to be okay because the temperatures can be kind of stable. So let me go ahead and actually see if I can actually frag this. So this GSP used to be just a very small piece. I have some gloves on here. A very small piece, and what I did was I grabbed some of these frags here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, awesome. I grabbed a piece of frag like this, and I just kind of threw a bunch of them next to each other, and then hopefully I've been planning this for a while. Hopefully I can just pull one of these guys out, and I should get a pretty nice frag. Hopefully. Okay, well, looks like some of them. You see how like the centerpiece is just on that centerpiece there? And then I think I'm gonna have to rip some of this out. So let me go ahead and grab my other hand real quick. All right, so I ripped it off. I have a little bit here, and I kind of replaced this on here, and I got another piece here. I'm gonna go ahead and take those two guys out, and we'll put them out in the rack system. All right, and we are outside in the rack system here. It's a little bit loud, but just bear with me real quick. So the clownfishes are, doing their thing as usual. I did put the frag kind of, away from the light just to let it acclimate to the new light conditions. This is going to be a little bit stronger, so I put it kind of farther. The frag here is not going to be here permanently. I just wanted to add it in here just to see how this does. The other frag piece is below the setup here. It's just in the other tank. Similar area. It's just away from the actual light here just by a little bit. So I hope the GSP does well. Right now the temperatures are going to be perfect for the actual GSP, so it'll kind of thrive in the conditions, hopefully get used to the environment, and hopefully when summer comes by it actually can acclimate to the new tanks and conditions, because it's going to be pretty dang hot out in here. Again, I already kind of updated you guys in the rack system from last week, so if you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and check that video out. I'm gonna go ahead and, since I'm already out here, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys an update on the quarantine fish that I showed you guys also last week. But I also did get a few new fish, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys those. So alright, so let's start off with the freshwater fish. So I went to my local fish store to pick up some SAEs, and that's what I did. They had a few little ones, which is fine because I'm gonna toss a couple of these guys in the tank inside, the smaller tank. I'm gonna swap the bigger ones out in the rack system because I still need to have a few more in the rack system just to help control hair algae, other algae that may occur. So I bought 4 of these guys. They're little, as you can see there. There's one right there, and the other 3 are in the back there. They're kind of small, but they're browsing in this quarantine tank. They're going to be in here for a while, just to make sure they don't have ick, they don't have any other diseases, issues that may occur. So while I was there, of course, any other hobbyists, we browse, we look for any other cool looking fish. So I noticed we had some starlight plecos available for sale. And for the most part, the price was, a little bit more expensive than what I would normally pay for, but it had a really nice male. This is a nice male here, pretty big, about, I would say, maybe 2.5 to 3 inches. And they had another female, but the female had some eye damage, so I didn't end up picking up that female, but I ended up picking the male. So obviously I don't need any more starlight plecos. I have actually a ton inside. But what I did notice was I maybe only had like 1 or 2 males compared to maybe a bunch of females that I had available. So I went ahead and I was like, you know what? The male is going to do most of the job anyways in terms of guarding tanks and the cave. So I went ahead and picked this guy up. He looks phenomenal. He's only been here for day 1, so it's most likely wild caught. So I'm going to go ahead and treat it for internal parasites or potential internal parasites. Obviously anything wild caught it's more susceptible for that just because they're in the wild. These other guys, since they're in there, they're going to get treated the same way. So he's going to be in this system for a while, And once he's done, I'm gonna go ahead and add him into that big pleco tank, so he'll be in here for a couple weeks. All right, and of course you can already see, I ended up picking up another pair of clownfish to add into my clownfish tank. These guys are just awesome. They are one of my favorite clownfish. They needed to be added into the collections, to be honest. So they look really healthy, really, really nice. Female back there looks pretty big compared to my other clownfish that I already have in the system. So, we'll have one female and then a bunch of males, which is fine. The male here looks a little bit bigger than the other clownfish that I have, so there'll be no problem in terms of being the dominant ones in that system. The purple tang's under here hiding because this is actually the first time I'm turning on the light. Normally these quarantine tanks don't have any light. Last week I didn't film with light just because they were kind of getting familiar with their environment and I didn't want to startle them. But I went ahead and turned on the light here, and obviously the purple tang is a little scared right now, but this is another batch of hair algae that I put in the tank. Literally destroyed the first batch. The purple tang is doing a great job. I ended up actually siphoning a bunch of poop and crap out of this tank because there was just so much poop just rolling around here, and this purple tang is doing a phenomenal job. The little damsels here, they look really nice. I think I'm gonna actually put these guys inside once they're done with the quarantine, just to see how that works out with the maroon clownfish. I think they'll be fast enough to kind of avoid most of the chasing there, and they look really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually feed them because it's actually dinner time for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed them. All right, so that's just some brine shrimp that I just threw in the tank here. Let's see how they do.
Here they come for a chance, for adventure.
It doesn't look like the clownfish is interested in the brine shrimp, to be honest. The damsels are looking like they're eating really well here. The other clownfish is coming by here. Pieces down here. Oh, here's a purple tang coming on out. Seeing what's going on. Look at that algae poop that it has right there. Just checking out what's going on. So since I added the new 2 clownfish in here, I'm gonna have to wait a week or so because of the quarantine phase. Make sure that there's no ick with these guys. The other fish were in here about, like I said, 2 weeks or so. The clownfish are new, so I'm gonna probably wait another 2 weeks additional on top of that to make sure everyone's eating healthy, everyone's doing okay. Especially the ick issue that I had in the previous setup on this tank. I'm going to definitely treat and make sure that we don't have any ick that appears in here. I did throw in some more different type of algae, so we got hair algae on that side. And this looks more of like a different type of hair algae, a little bit more bushy. Threw it in here for the purple tang to see if the purple tang will like to eat that. Kind of give them a little variety. Purple tang doesn't know what's going on. The food's over there, buddies. All right, so let's go inside and get you guys an update on the discus tank. All right, guys, and we are inside the house with the discus pair here, and as you can see, they're doing really well. I did have some issues with the male here, this one right here. He started to kind of go a little darker for one of the days, and I just did more water changes. I went to a weekly water change schedule to kind of like an every other day, maybe like 20%, just to help figure out what was going on. And about a week afterwards, he got his color back, so he looks like he's doing okay now. So not sure what happened there. Maybe it's just the water quality kind of dropping a little bit, and this is after like 1 day of a water change, and as you can see, there's just poop everywhere. So maybe I just need to kind of clean the tank a little bit more frequently for these guys, just because they're eating a lot more. But what I wanted to share with you guys was, so you guys know that I've been having issues with these pair eating the fry and eating the eggs before they hatch, or even after they hatch into wiggler state. So what I did was interesting experiment just to kind of see who was eating what. So what I did was a really just basic experiment. Was once the eggs were laid and fertilized from discus, I let the the parents do their thing for about, 3 hours or so to guarantee that the eggs are fertilized. And once they are fertilized, what I did was I just kind of divided the tank in half with just a simple egg crate that kind of fit the tank here, so it just went straight down. And I put the cone to one side and kept it with one pair of discus, and then let the other pair on the other side and see if they would actually eat the eggs. And what I started with was the female, which is this girl here. The next day, she pretty much ate the eggs instantly. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the female that's doing it. What was really interesting was I waited another week because they kind of just lay eggs, pretty much every week here. Laid again, did their own thing, and I did the same experiment, but this time I split with the male with the cone here and just kind of pushed them aside there. And what was interesting was also the next day he ended up eating all the eggs as well. So obviously it's not a concrete experiment because maybe they might feel threatened with the actual egg crate on there, and they were like, maybe I should kill these eggs, get rid of them or something. So I'm not really 100% sure, but it looks like they're both are egg eaters. I not really sure what to do from here because the only thing I can think of is maybe try to raise up the fry myself with some sort of tumbler or egg tumbler. But normally the fry does the best with clinging on to the parents and eating the slime coat from the parents. So I'm not really sure what I can do here. Maybe it's maybe I can't really, do anything other than just wait, because I know that, with time and experience, these guys can get a little bit better. So maybe I'll just kind of let them do their thing, for a while. And maybe, sometime down the road, I'll get a successful hatch and a successful, wigglers from the eggs here. But right now, I'm kind of just a little set back and just kind of confused in terms of what's going on with this pair here. But for the most part, the discus are doing healthy. They're doing fine. They enjoy this tank, I think, a lot better than the bigger tank, just because they can interact with each other a little bit better. They seem to fight each other a little bit more for whatever reason. The female tends to pick at the male a little bit more. And I don't know why, but just maybe she's just, being, the female. But yeah, so that is the quick update, guys, on what's going on with some of my tanks and whatnot. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's update. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. And like always, until next time, guys, peace out.